people, viewers, thank you for coming to this, the fourth episode of my Deneb daily grind, sort of play-along blog. Maybe I should call it that, play-along blog, not instead of a sing-along blog. And I intend to continue talking about science fiction today. And rather than citing specific examples of science fiction titles that have influenced me, though I did forget or ran out of time talking about it yesterday in terms of, I wanted to mention all the goofy 80s movies that sank in. Oh, crap. So, let me just list a couple. You might be able to sympathize. I grew up on stuff like Daryl, D-A-Y-R-L, which is not that science fiction-y, but it is. And, what else? There was another one. Explorers, that had like River Phoenix. And, actually, Ethan Hawke, as a kid. He was the like sort of main character. What else? Grew up on science, 50s science fiction. I was talking about 80s, wasn't I? Last Starfighter. I just recently watched that again. I only just found out Will Wheaton has a bit part in that film. I'd never picked up on that, so I'm gonna have to watch it again and find out. God, there is more. I know there is. Ooh. Is this a birch forest or just... No, it looks like a regular forest. Ew. Where'd you go? Could be a little bit easier on me, guys. Oh. There's another one. Flight of the Navigator. That was an excellent one. They even did a good job with, hyperspeed, not like transluminescent. That's right. That's not right. Transluminal speeds, superluminal speeds. Faster than light. Consequences. Being able to transit in, not age while everyone else does. There are a lot of science fiction titles these days, so they don't even bother to consider the physics behind this stuff. They just, I want to have aliens shooting aliens, and that's the extent of their research. I mean, even the new Trek has kind of gone that far downhill. So, yeah, but then there were the 50s things I was raised on, like the original War of the Worlds, the original The Thing, The Blob. Oh, there were so many. Some of them quite good. Forbidden Planet is a masterpiece. That's an amazing piece of work. The Thing is actually really well written. The dialogue of the characters is pretty superior to most movies these days. Insofar as you have what come across as pretty natural conversations where people talk over each other on a regular basis and shoot out just things that you'd believe people would actually say in real life. Whereas, it seems like most movies these days are highly scripted, somewhat unrealistic in what people actually say to each other, stuff like that. Anyways, I grew up on this stuff, but I actually value science fiction for what I think are some pretty important and often overlooked reasons. Bear with me a moment. Facing north, really? That's pretty bad, actually. How'd I end up doing that? Sorry for the cheating. Anyways, it's raining. I don't have the sense of direction. Oh, wait. That would have helped. Okay, never mind. Man, my nose is stuffed up. Can you tell? Aside from the sniffle. Wow, I can't believe I was going the wrong way. Anyways. There's some people who suggest that science fiction is trying to predict the future, and I argue with that. Maybe half of it is, and that's the dark half, trying to predict the future. Like dark science fiction, horror-related science fiction, stuff like that. There's a lot of that in terms of, I did have a shovel. What the heck? Okay. frig, okay? It's just like a good. There's a pretty big difference between a horror movie and good dark science fiction. Oops. Dang it. Apparently I'm not well prepared for all this. And that largely is... Dark science fiction often is trying to take a relevant concept or technology and explore the consequences or what could go wrong. So you had, in the 50s, you had a lot of movies that spent a lot of time looking into possible or even fantastical consequences of like atomic energy and atomic weapons. You get Godzilla and the giant ants and giant insects and mutants run. Ooh, thank you. Man, the day's half gone already. So you get a lot of this dark science fiction that it, like I said, it explores this stuff. But then you have the optimistic. Man, my face. What the hell? Why am I getting all stuffy? Sorry if it's annoying you guys. It's come on me rather suddenly. And I do have limited opportunity to record. So I got to get in what I can. Anyways. No, this is starting to suffer. Oh, man. Meanwhile. Okay, I'm headed the right way. Oh. Come on. Face. Holy cow. That was so sudden. This doesn't happen. This must be science fiction. I'm coming down with the Ebola SARS hantavirus all at once. With a case of E. coli and rabies. But it will be cured with zombieism just any minute now. And I'm not a big fan of those kind of disaster movies, but I like... like I said, the dark stuff is exploring how science may go wrong, and that's a worthwhile thing to do. What are the possible consequences? So far, the consequences have never been as bad as we have feared and such. But then again, they've never quite been as good as we hoped either. And that's where the other side of the science fiction comes in, the optimistic science fiction. Or the exploratory sort of what if science fiction. There's a lot of that. Bear with me. I'm going to have to take a break and eat some food. What's this? Oh, just a little puddle. All these plains and nothing in them. I do miss some of the biomes of plenty options that there were. But they're not here, and we can't have them now. Take this back, please. Do I have other foods? Oh, I have other food. I'm panicking for no good reason. I should, though. Make me some... Do I have enough room for all this? Yeah, just barely. One thing I can do is make myself a beacon to mark my passage. So let's do that briefly. Like such. And so forth. There you go. I mean, I haven't been doing it so far, but that will stand out to travelers. Like, hey, something's going on here. Are we done yet? Not even close. Okay, so why don't I eat the stuff I already have? Just right there. But good science fiction, even if it has like a stressful plot involved, as often is required to get anybody to sit in the seats and watch the damn thing, it's not so much trying to predict the future like the dark stuff is, but it effectively designs the future. It creates the future. Like Trek is an excellent example. You have no idea how many... Why is this tree missing? Oh well. You have no idea how many inventions and even some policies have come about that were inspired by the original series. by kids who grew up watching that, glued to the screen, in the 60s. And then they grew up and they wanted to do this. They wanted to make these things happen, and they went out and they did it. You have, like the originating things behind the cell phone are heavily credited with Star Trek influence. And people at JPL and National Semiconductor and these other high-tech places, there was in the 80s, a poll among them, and something like 85% of them cited Star Trek as having made them want to grow up to invent and do these things. And that's really, really important. So even if the future turned out a little different, it made people go out and try to accomplish these things. And this is part of why I have written a book. It is science fiction. It's near future. It's not too far away. It's only about 25, 30 years out. And frankly, that is now my limit in terms of what I think we can even predict in terms of science fiction anymore. We used to be able to think that hundreds of years in the future, we'd still largely be like we are now, just in spaceships. And I'm disabused of that now. That's not going to happen. We'll get out there, but we won't be human anymore. We will be something else, capable of traveling like that, and potentially even traveling like that by ourselves, without ships and without the need of others and such, or sustenance or anything else. It'll be a strange time. And whether or not humanity continues to exist is questionable, but not entirely important, as long as we continue to experience and learn and grow. It doesn't really matter what you are, I don't think. I know that's a bit of a stretch, but still. That goes into the realms of science fiction and exploring what the future might be and whether or not we want it that way. And if we do, how do we go about accomplishing it? These are all things that science fiction explores and encourages. And so that's why I think it's really important. And those who aren't really into science fiction kind of make me sad, because they're not. It tells me they're not really interested in being a functional component of solutions and change and betterment of our life circumstances and who we are as a species and stuff like that. They're just existing to exist, getting by, and I can sort of forgive that, but to a certain extent, it's almost, oh wow, I've reached a sea, folks. I probably shouldn't be excited about that, but it is a bit unusual of late. I haven't seen one of these in a while. I haven't seen a jungle biome yet at all. Now, see, if I go that way, I'll end up in Oplex territory. I know that. So I'm going to have to go this way. So, yeah, I guess I didn't express that very well, but that is the general gist of it, that I value... Whoa! What the heck was that all about? How did I get there? Whoa, stay away! Did I pick any of that up? I did, okay. It's... I don't know. It's pretty important to me. And I think it should be important to everybody. But unfortunately, today's idea of science fiction is big box office explosions and lasers and gross mutants and high body counts. There's something has been lost. Something has been lost. And there was a thing today on the LinkedIn site. I'm in a group for science fiction enthusiasts and writers. And since I have written science fiction, I can call myself a science fiction writer. I just haven't actually gotten it published. And I won't until after I am satisfied with it. And then someone else likes it, which is kind of an important component to getting anything published. I really need to get back to it. But it is my attempt to design the future a little bit, because I by myself cannot change the whole world in a way that I think it needs to change if it's going to survive. Whoa. But if I can write this thing and illustrate and explore... Sorry, I'm yelling over the sound of this. If I can illustrate and explore how it might work and how it might be good, then maybe I'll inspire someone who does have the engineering skills and people skills to go out and make it happen. And then I could have been part of designing a better future. So yeah, you cannot hope to have or create a better future without exploring it first in what if scenarios. And that any kind of what if scenario is fiction, period. There's no avoiding that, to be sure. So bear with me as I sniffle some more. Come back. There's a bunch of things here I don't need. Like this. Sorry, it's just... Oh, you know what? The reason I was supposed to be collecting sand was for glass. So if I compact it into sandstone, it's not going to work. Oh well. That's pretty much the topic. I only got about like 3 or 5 minutes left in this episode before I should cut it off. I haven't really found anything, really. It's just been woods and plains. This has pretty much dominated my territory. This kind of stuff. But yeah, science fiction's good stuff, and I encourage you to get involved in it and appreciate it, and maybe even go to some of the old stuff that was technically in spirit and better stuff. I mean, there was bad stuff back then too. It's not like humanity has corrupted beyond measure these last 40 years or anything. It's become, science fiction's almost become, it's too profitable. All of a sudden, because people detect money to be made from it, it's gone terribly sour. Whereas originally the people were doing it out of a love for the content and for the stories, and that's been set aside, and that's bad. It's pretty bad for everybody. I'm sorry for the sniffles. I don't know where they came from, and I have a meeting tomorrow at the office, so I can't really afford to be sick. Or if I do end up sick, I'm not going to be able to stay home. But I think there's a possibility because like one of the other guys at the office was apparently a little bit under the weather as well. Stay. Very good. Let's eat. So, yep. Topic exhausted, I think. I need to think up another one because I have still some recording to do. But until then, thanks for you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it all right. Not my worst ramble ever, and certainly not one of my more depressing ones, like the politics and the war stuff tend to be, but yeah, this is a nice scenario. I like this place. Ooh, there's a thing to see. Let's go check that out real quick. With that, I can let you guys go. If I were smart, I would record an episode of XCOM. I'm pretty sure at this point that I'm on the last 2 episodes of XCOM. Look at this. Oh, it's all my fault for having shown up here. How about we help it along a little bit? Oops. Help it along just a little bit. Come on. Oh, I can't pick this stuff up. As far as you can get, huh? Well, any further and you'll just become... Alright. Well, with this, I will leave you guys. Please enjoy the scenery. Very nice, isn't it? Alright. See you guys tomorrow.